Cognitive flexibility enables us to continue pursuing our goals while adapting our behavior in response to changes in the world. A commonly used assay of flexibility is the reversal learning task, and previous work has demonstrated that the task has reliable behavioral, computational, and neural outcomes as quantified using inter-class correlation coefficients, or ICCs, which are a commonly used reliability metric. In this study, we assessed the reliability of behavioral measures of reversal learning using data collected from a large online sample. 251 participants were recruited through the online participant recruitment website Prolific. They were asked to complete the task at 2 time points which were, on average, 12.5 days apart. We quantified the reliability of the performance of 150 subjects who met our inclusion criteria, which included checking for careless responding. In each session, participants completed 150 trials. On each trial, they were presented with 2 abstract stimuli and asked to choose one. One of the stimuli was more likely to result in a reward, the gain of a point, while the other was more likely to result in a punishment, the loss of a point. These assigned outcome probabilities reversed 9 times during the task and occurred approximately every 15 trials. Participants were informed that reversals would happen, but they were not told when. To assess task performance, we quantified behavior in the following ways. We measured accuracy based on the number of trials where the more rewarding option was selected, regardless of where the reward was obtained. Staying behavior was whether participants selected the same choice as on the previous trial, and this was further subdivided based on whether participants received a win or a loss on the previous trial. Perseveration was how much participants chose the previously correct choice after a reversal. And reaction time was the amount of time taken to make a decision, and this was also further subdivided based on whether participants received a win or a loss on the previous trial. These measures were calculated using mixed models which either separately or jointly modeled the effect of session. Firstly, we show in Figure 2 that the agreement of performance measures across sessions in our task was broadly comparable to previously published studies that examined the reliability of performance in reversal learning. Next, we wanted to test whether sample size affects estimates of task reliability. To do this, we use variance decomposition to investigate effects of sample size on components of variance between subjects and systematic within subject effects, or session effects. We generate synthetic data based on the underlying distribution of our original dataset to do this. To generate statistically related synthetic data, we first generated a simple regression model predicting session 2 data using session 1 data. We then took the residuals from this model along with session 1 data and calculated parameters for the best fitting distribution for session 1 data and the residuals. We then randomly sampled new session 1 data and residuals from the best fitting distributions and used the intercept and scalar values from the regression model using our collected data to generate synthetic data for session 2. And this process is summarized in Figure 3. In Figure 4, we demonstrate that as sample size increases, the distribution of our synthetic data more closely matches that of our original data. Additionally, and more importantly, the consistency in the distribution of the Kolmogorov-Smirnov statistic values between the 2 sessions suggests that we can recapture the nuance of the statistical relationship that exists between session 1 and session 2 in our original data with our regression-based simulation approach. This is because modeling the residuals allows us to preserve the shape of the statistical relationship in the underlying data. Using our simulation approach, we generated 250 unique datasets for all sample sizes from 10 to 300 participants. And in Figure 5, we plot the distribution of between subject and within subject variance components for our behavioral measures. For all measures, the precision of variance components estimates improves significantly as sample size increases. We also calculated intra-class correlation coefficients for each simulated dataset, and in Figure 6, we show for each sample size the Pearson's correlation coefficient between variance components and their respective ICCs for our behavioral measures. Across all sample sizes, we found between subject variance components were highly positively correlated with ICCs. However, for within subject variance components, we found ICCs were poorly or not correlated at all across all our measures of behavioral performance. To conclude, we show that the estimation of both between and within subject variance components becomes more precise as sample size increases. Additionally, we show that estimation of within subject variance are weakly correlated with ICC measures of reliability across all sample sizes, and suggest that reporting only ICC values is insufficient for systematically estimating reliability of a measure over time, and that measures of reversal learning performance may be less stable than previously reported, particularly given that previous work had much smaller sample sizes than reported here.